A day that began on a distressing note for the Georgia football program has suddenly gotten a lot brighter. At his Kennesaw High School Friday morning, Justin Fields announced toward the end of a homecoming pep rally that he has verbally committed to attend Georgia and play his college football for the Bulldogs. The 6'3", 221-pound 2018 recruit also had Auburn, Florida State and LSU in his Final Four. Fields is the #1 player in the country on 247sports.com's composite board for the class of 2018. His sister, Jaden, has already committed to play softball at UGA as well. Congrats to Hoyas Co-18 QB at Justin Fields on your commitment to UGA. Pic.twitter.com Kex1TJ43S8W Hoya Football at Shoya Football October 6, 2017. Fields' commitment continues an impressive recruiting run on quarterbacks for UGA the last couple of years. Jacob Eason, a 2016 signee, was the #5 player in the country and the #2 pro-style quarterback who started his true freshman season as well as the opener before going down with an injury. A 4-star 2017 signee, Jake Fromm was the #3 pro-style quarterback in this year's class and was thrown into the starting fire immediately after Eason's injury. Memphis 41-11 AAC quarterback Riley Ferguson tied an American Athletic Conference record with 7 touchdown passes thrown in a single game Friday night in a 7,031 road win at UConn 14-03 AAC. Tigers wide receiver Anthony Miller had himself a big night to contribute to Ferguson's success with 15 catches for 224 yards and a school record 4 touchdowns. The record for most touchdown passes in a single game by a player from the AAC was previously set by former Memphis quarterback Paxton Lynch, who is now in the NFL with the Denver Broncos. Here's a look at the touchdown that moved Ferguson into a tie with the former Memphis quarterback. Miller ended his night with 224 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns, pretty much doubling his season total coming into the night. At Memphis FWR, Anthony Miller entered tonight with 292 receiving yards and 3 TDs in 4 games. He has 224 yards and 4 TDs tonight. Kevin McGuire at KevinOnkFB October 7, 2017. Ferguson completed 34 of 48 pass attempts for 431 yards and the 7 touchdowns before finally getting a rest in the fourth quarter as David Moore stepped in to replace him. Memphis accumulated 711 yards of total offense, more than making up for what at times was a rough showing by the Memphis defense. But UConn did themselves no favors with 3 turnovers and going just 2 for 11 on third down attempts. Memphis will hope to keep this momentum going next week when they host Navy in what looks to be a pivotal game in the AAC West standings. The Midshipmen are already 30 in conference play, while Memphis evened their record against conference opponents after getting rolled over by UCF last week. UConn will look to get something on track next week with a road game at Temple. Follow at KevinOnkFB on the eve of a road game against Big 12 favorite Oklahoma. Iowa State reportedly has to replace their starting quarterback. Jacob Park has taken a sudden leave of absence, according to the Des Moines Register, due to unspecified medical concerns. Park did not travel with the rest of the team as they prepare for a road game against the #3 Sooners. It is not directly indicated by the report out of Des Moines whether those medical concerns are directly related to Park's personal health or that of a family member or someone else, although the report does confirm Iowa State head coach Matt Campbell would not discuss medical issues related to his players, which is pretty common around college football due to privacy concerns and laws. Jacob is a great young man dealing with some personal medical concerns, Campbell said in a statement. We are committed to helping him cope, supporting him on all levels and helping him prepare to get back on the playing field with his teammates as soon as possible. Park has been Iowa State's starter for all 4 games played thus far, and he has completed 61.7% of his attempts for 1,181 yards and 9 touchdowns with 5 interceptions. Freshman Zeb Noland would figure to be the next man up for the Cyclones for however long is necessary. Noland has not thrown a pass since the season opener. The other option could be senior Kyle Kempt, who is listed 3rd on the team's official depth chart. Park was still listed at the top of the depth chart for this week's game as of the time of this post. Follow at KevinOnkFB if you are not already aware of Memphis wide receiver Anthony Miller. Allow me to introduce you to him right now. Miller caught 84 passes for 1,283 yards and 11 touchdowns last season for the Tigers, and he absolutely shredded UCLA for 9 catches and 185 yards and 2 touchdowns earlier this season. Tonight, on the road in AAC play at UConn, he added one more impressive highlight to his reel with a nifty one-handed snag on the move. Miller has now caught a pass in 30 straight games, once again proving to be as reliable an option in the passing game as you can find. Miller would go on to finish this drive with a catch in the end zone for a game-tying touchdown 14-14 in the second quarter. Follow at KevinOnkFB. There is an old football logic that suggests a player should never lose his job to an injury. Stanford head coach David Shaw appears to live by that mentality, as it was announced on Friday that senior quarterback Keller Chryst will return to the starting lineup this week. While Chryst is expected to start, Stanford also announced KJ Costello is also expected to get some playing time for the Cardinals Saturday night at number 20 Utah. Chryst was picked off twice in Stanford's loss to San Diego State in mid-September and was then roughed up against UCLA in the first quarter and taken out of the game due to an injury. That led Costello to take over the starting duties for last week's game against Arizona State. Against the Sun Devils, Costello completed 15 of 24 passes for 173 yards and a touchdown. He has thrown 3 touchdowns without an interception in the past 2 games. Making the job easier for Costello has been the continued dominance of running back Bryce Love, who continues to pile up the rushing yardage and wiggle his way into the Heisman Trophy spotlight. Now, with Stanford still very much in the thick of the Pac-12 North race despite having 2 losses on their record so far, the Cardinals are in the odd position of having a bit of a quarterback controversy smack dab in the middle of the season. Costello has shown more of an ability to provide some athleticism and versatility to the Stanford offense in limited exposure compared to Chryst. But having Love running the ball allows Stanford to, more often than not, be able to work out some issues in the passing game until Shaw can feel comfortable making a decision with one guy over the other. Follow at KevinOnkFB.